AITA from making my eldest do the laundry after causing the youngest to poo herself. My eldest daughter 17F was cleaning the bathroom yesterday because it was her turn to do it this week, when my youngest 14F, who has Crohn's disease, said she needed to use the toilet. Eldest asked her what she needed to do. Youngest responded with no to. Eldest refused to let her use the bathroom until she was done cleaning, and as a result, youngest ended up pooing herself. This is not the first time something like this has happened, and I have explained to my eldest time and time again that unless someone is actively on the toilet, if the youngest needs to go, she needs to go and to drop whatever activity is taking place in there at the time. I made her do the laundry after this, and she was throwing a tantrum about it. When my husband got home from work, he said I am cruel and being an asshole and should have just found a different punishment. AITA. I mean, it is not like doing the laundry in this case meant she had be covered head to toe in shit. You throw that in on its own, maybe run an extra wash, and it should come out pretty easy. Right. Your daughter is old enough to realize the consequences to her actions, and to understand that diseases like Crohn's are not really something to duck around with. If this has even been explained to her countless times as you say, I get why you wanted to give her a bit of a harsher punishment. I feel doing the shit-covered laundry is well within reason of this. NTA, yeah, they only went in on their own. Luckily was just black tracksuit pants. Normally my youngest cleans them herself, and even she agreed with the punishment handed out. Logical punishment. I would question your husband why he thinks it is more cruel to punish your eldest daughter to literally clean the shit she caused than your eldest daughter causing your youngest the mess, the humiliation and the embarrassment of shitting herself. I would poke in a wound that he prefers the eldest since she is normal, especially if he calls you out quite often over the harsh punishment you give your eldest. And I guess that OP would have to clean herself the stained clothes otherwise, because the husband would never offer himself to do it. Punishment for the eldest, but something that OP has to do. OP said in another comment that youngest actually does the cleaning when it happens, and even agreed to OP's punishment. I am glad kiddo went along with it. Hopefully it means she wasn't feeling too awful about it. I think dad should take a turn doing the cleaning too. Maybe then he will understand how the youngest may have felt. NTA. Doing the laundry was not a punishment. It is called taking suitable responsibility for the outcome of her decisions. That is life. Good on you for teaching her that lesson. It is a major one. Side thought, only you know if it is a pattern of behavior for your older daughter to manipulate her dad into taking her side and pitting you against each other. Just something you may wish to consider if it needs addressing. NTA. But if there is only one bathroom available, is there no standby arrangement for the 14-year-old? I have a family member with Crohn's who keeps an emergency bucket tucked away in their bedroom. I do not think they have ever had to use it since they live alone, but they know it's there if an urgent situation arises in the night or if a visitor is in the bathroom. I know the prospect of a bucket does not do a lot for one's dignity, but nor to shitty jogging pants. I have Crohn's. It sucks. But at least I get more break time at work to accommodate my bathroom needs. My mom suggested a bucket too since large family only one bathroom. Sure, it was embarrassing to even think about doing that, but all it took was one accident to realize a bucket trash bin is way better than poop in my pants. Ever had poop in your pants as a cognitive person and not a baby? Let me tell you, shit's not fun. Luckily I do not have to deal with that, since now I am like your cousin and I live alone, so no issues. NTA. She is 17. She should know actions have consequences by now. I think it is a very appropriate punishment. Stopping cleaning for 10 minutes while her sister used the toilet should not have been too hard to do. Siblings without disabilities or conditions often feel they are put second to their siblings with disabilities or conditions. This seems like more like unresolved issues versus intentional cruelty. NTA. But I try to get to the bottom of this before your oldest is out of reach. NTA. Your eldest is 17, not 5. She should be able to understand when a person needs to go. They need to go. What did she expect when rejecting your younger daughter the bathroom? You are not the asshole, and hopefully your eldest now understands how much it sucks for your younger daughter to be denied a necessity. Info: would eldest daughter still be cleaning the bathroom toilet after youngest finishes? Would she be punished if she did not finish cleaning it right away? I can see her reluctance for having to continue cleaning right after someone finishes dropping the kids off at the pool. But then again, a bunch of matches and candles would mitigate the smell. I have crons, and my siblings have told me that there is a pretty noticeable difference between my poops or anyone else's poops, to the point that they can tell it was specifically me who used the washroom last. Info: do you have more than one toilet in your house? Edit: added judgment. NTA. When my youngest was 9, she kept leaving her dirty washing on the floor. Her punishment was doing all the washing for a week and then her own for 3 months. Your 17-year-old made her sister poop herself. That takes a special kind of she needs a lot more punishing than doing a load of laundry. NTA: but I try talking to your 17-year-old from a friendly place and make it clear if 14-year-old has to go, then the chores schedule could be adjusted. When I was her age, we had to complete all of our chores before we could go out with friends, and sometimes it would make us late because chores would be added or would take longer or something. There were times it was hard to schedule social time and I would get frustrated and snap if someone wanted to dirty an extra dish, for example. Her behavior was unacceptable, but there may be issues in the way chores are assigned or followed up on that you have not noticed. Allowing her space to vent may help you to understand her better and create a system that encourages the kids to work together. In my experience, you can give them tasks that reward working together well, and it helps facilitate bonding. I have a sibling who I had to do a lot of household chores with, and now as adults we can pretty accurately predict where the other will be, even in busy places, and work together pretty seamlessly. In an emergency situation, I don't even have to look for them. I know 99% of the time we are on the same page and working together. We have painted rooms, done major yard chores and planted gardens, assembled furniture, done light masonry repairs, babysat larger groups of baby cousins, assisted with car repairs, clothing mending, tile work, and refinishing floors. Try to make the work the enemy and them a team. I am going to say NTA because your older is 17, not like she's a child anymore, and she is fully capable of understanding exactly what the condition is and what it does to her sister and her body. Does your eldest have any other compulsions? This could be asshole behavior, or it could be a compulsion that forces your eldest to panic or mentally block if she cannot finish something she started, in which case she needs help. Either way, NTA, laundry is barely a punishment for forcing someone to shit themselves. My eldest can rarely finish something she has started. Her own room just gets messier when she cleans it. Homework gets started but never finished. Sometimes she will dye her hair and get lazy and just not finish it. Depends on her mood really. Has she been evaluated for ADHD? She sounds exactly like me until I started taking meds for ADHD. I still have the same tendencies. Meds help, but I have to actively work to not leave tasks unfinished. Messes always get bigger before I can finish cleaning. Seconding this, the compulsion to finish what she started can be hyperfocus, while the inability to finish many other things is so common. Women and girls are underdiagnosed due to the presentation of ADHD being very different. I would check resources in your area regarding ADHD in women. Yes, teens are flighty and often lazy, but being too lazy to finish dyeing one's hair has social repercussions. This makes me think she is not lazy but struggling. Even though everybody else seems to think differently, but your responses to other comments made me feel sorry for your older daughter as well. One, you said it happened before but not while she was cleaning. So what were the exact situations? I could come up with some situations where your older daughter was blocking the bathroom. Was she under the shower, on the toilet herself, or did she deliberately lock her younger sister out and could have let her in immediately? 2. I feel it is unresponsible of you to expect your older daughter to always immediately vacate the bathroom while nothing has been done to prepare for emergencies. Either this has been a problem for quite some time, in which case I think you should have either searched for another apartment with at least 2 toilets, or the disease became more serious recently. Which leads me to wonder if your 17 years was aware that waiting was not an option at all. Also, you simply let your youngest daughter decline an emergency plan with a bucket without an alternative. I understand that this is not a great solution, But I believe that the whole family has to pay attention to each other's needs, and that includes that your 14 years should also acknowledge that others might need the bathroom as well. 3 Many people here immediately said that your older is bullying your younger. I think that is a hasty conclusion. A bit of teasing under siblings is normal, by how you worded the different social circles your daughters have. You already made it clear that you prefer the one of your younger daughter. If your older noticed your preference as well, it is not surprising that she is trying to attack your younger for it in a way of self-protection against your judgment. I would not call this bullying on its own. You do not even know what happens if they are completely on their own. If it is truly a reaction to your judgment, it is possible that she is nicer if you are not around. Since you did not give details to the other instances where she did not let your youngest use the bathroom, I cannot determine whether these were accidents or deliberate actions and thus not judge upon these. 4 Your descriptions of your older daughter and general room homework gave me the feeling that your younger is your golden child, combined with the fact that a child with a serious medical condition needs a lot of attention and the other often feels left out. I could understand jealousy from your older daughter, which often shows in being mean. Furthermore, I would oppose the negative judgment of others here, that she is your husband's golden child. Perhaps she is, but what is wrong about having at least one parent who is giving you enough attention to hopefully feel loved? Or perhaps he just tries to compensate your favorism, or hopefully we only got a wrong impression. 5 Now the reason for my judgment: I do not think the punishment will solve the problem. She was doing her chores, so I do not see any malintent. If the atmosphere between your daughters is tense, I would suggest reassigning chores. Also, I doubt that she learns the actions have consequences lessons that everybody else sees. I fear the punishment will increase her dislike for your younger daughter's medical condition, and consequently for her sister. If she is already feeling treated unequally because of it, this punishment might increase such feelings. Also, have you considered the following? A punishment normally makes you feel frustrated, angry, and as social creatures we humans love to vent to deal with such emotions. As you made it her punishment, I believe she has every right to talk about it with people she trusts and consoles. So you do not seem fond of her friends. Would it be alright with you and your 14 years old if she told them she had to wash your younger daughter's pants after she shat herself? Hopefully she can confide in her father to talk about such punishments, even though teenagers often tend to prefer talking to peers. So perhaps you will also learn that actions have consequences. I actually just posted an NTA comment while addressing the fact that the 17 years old probably did this out of perceived differential treatment between the siblings. But after reading OP's additional comments, I have to agree with Standard Engineer 724. Not for the punishment you gave after her unacceptable behavior, but for very likely driving a wedge between your daughters and for not working hard enough on the relationship with your eldest daughter. The way you describe her is horrifying to read. She probably senses your attitude towards her versus towards her sister, and it is contributing to her acting out. Even if she acts like an asshole, she is still a kid with a not completely developed brain, and you are responsible for fixing the issue, instead of blaming it all on her. Edit typo. NTA. But this thread, wow. Half of them are ready to lock up your older daughter. The other half to have her committed to a mental institution. Teenagers are dicks. Being around other teens in high school just reinforces the dickatry. Most of them turn out to be reasonable people a few years out from school life. NTA. She is 17, not a baby. She was cruel on purpose and your hubby should not be so okay with this. It's a punishment fit for the crime. She is an adult in 1 year and she should know by now for quite some years that actions have consequences. This should be brought up to your hubby as well. Or is he going to bail her out every time she does something stupid? Our 14-year-old should not face the consequences for having an sister. NTA. The 17-year-old should not have to be told so many times. There are medical conditions which mean some people physically cannot hold it for the convenience of those around them. If this has happened multiple times before, imagine the anxiety the 14-year-old might be developing around her bodily functions if even in her own home she cannot take care of her personal needs. The husband was not there and did not have to see your younger one suffering at the hands of her sister. Remind him of that. What the elder sister did was neglectful, careless and cruel. All she had to do was literally nothing and step out for a few minutes. My dad was pretty severely disabled when I was a kid, and even though he was honest to God a piece of crap human, I would never even think to deny him the use of the bathroom. When he needed to go, he needed to go, and I would bring him what he needed to do so when he couldn't leave the bed. I know teenagers can be assholes, but there is something seriously wrong here for her to do this to her younger sister. She seriously lacks sympathy, and I am not going to overreach and say that she's a bully, but this is a serious red flag. I would sit your youngest down just to make sure that this isn't a normal occurrence for her, because if it is, there should be definite heck to pay. NTA. My roommate has crons. It's nothing to duck with, especially when it's time to go. Honestly, if your daughter were posting and she were up for it, I'd tell her to just plop on the toilet when she needs to, whether or not the 17-year-old vacates. I know the smell. She can either get the duck out, or allow the natural consequence of smelling the smell to be her punishment. Since that's not what happened, doing the laundry is not only fair, but the closest thing to justice. She can be grateful her sister didn't take karma into her own hands and pop a squat in the 17-year's room or bed. 17-year can choose be a jerk and you punish her, be a jerk and let the one with a bowel disease take matters into her own hands, or just not be a jerk. Edit NTA. Please subscribe.